You jog onto the hardwood under a chorus of boos, a whistle clipped to your collar, every eye daring you to mess up. Your job? Control the chaos, track the ball, the feet, the hands, the clock, and somehow get every call right in real time. One blown whistle and you're the villain of the night. The trending topic, the face of the league's problem. You don't play for a team, but every night, 20,000 fans treat you like the enemy. Welcome to the life of an NBA referee. Split-second decisions under the microscope. Basketball at the NBA level moves at breathtaking speed. Players can leap, twist, and cover half the court in a single step. The ball zips from hand to hand, and bodies crash together at angles that can't be fully seen by a single set of eyes. In the middle of it all, NBA referees must judge infractions in fractions of a second, often while their view is blocked, or the crowd is roaring so loudly they can barely hear their whistle. It's not just about seeing the play, but about processing a blur of motion and making an instant decision that could affect the season. For context, the average NBA play lasts less than 4 seconds. In that time, an official is responsible for tracking legal screens, defensive positioning, player contact, foot placement, shot clocks, and even subtleties like flopping or delay of game. Each referee manages an assigned area but must anticipate movements outside their immediate focus, staying mentally ahead of world-class athletes. Accuracy expectations are sky high. The NBA's internal review report claims a 93.9% correctness rate on call plays, but this figure masks the reality that 1 or 2 mistakes per game can ignite weeks of controversy. Unlike almost any other profession, perfection is demanded, not hoped for. One of outbound's call missed by a few inches can turn into a viral video and a trending hashtag, replayed on sports networks and debated on every basketball forum. Instant replay, meant to provide fairness, instead intensifies the scrutiny. Slow motion reviews can reveal that a fingertip grazed the ball, or a defender's heel touched the line, details invincible to the naked eye. Even correct calls can look questionable when slowed to a frame-by-frame crawl. The world has unlimited time to analyze, but the referee has just a heartbeat. The stakes are enormous. A single incorrect whistle in a playoff game can reshape championship odds, influence player contracts, or forever change a fan-base narrative. Some of the most iconic moments in NBA history, from the 2002 Western Conference Finals to recent controversial finishers, have centered around referees forced to decide in the blink of an eye, with no pause button and nowhere to hide. Mental and emotional toll. Beyond the courts, the mental and emotional load on NBA referees is relentless. Every game, they're the target of frustration from players, coaches, fans, and media. The moment a controversial call is made, the arena erupts with boos, coaches storm the sideline, and players let their tempers flare. Off the court, the reaction follows referees into their hotel rooms and even into their personal lives. It's not just one-sided. The job requires composure under pressure that few can fathom. One referee described it as being yelled at by 20,000 people while knowing you can't ever yell back. The ability to compartmentalize is vital. Referees can't afford to carry the emotions from a heated game into their next assignment, sometimes less than 24 hours later. Yet the pressure doesn't reset between games. It builds, accumulates, and wears on their confidence and sense of self-worth. Studies and first-hand accounts have revealed increased rates of anxiety and depression among officials. The expectation of perfection, the fear of making a mistake, and the sense of always being the outsider. All of these combine into a heavy emotional burden. The NBA has begun providing confidential counseling and mental health resources, but the stigma of seeking help still lingers in this high-performance environment. Isolation is another persistent issue. Referees are not part of any team. They don't share in the victories or the camaraderie of a locker room. Instead, they travel alone or in small crews that are regularly rotated to prevent any appearance of bias. On the road for weeks at a time, the loneliness and monotony can be overwhelming. Connections with family and friends become difficult to maintain, as the NBA season runs from October into June, with little time off. The threat of burnout is always present. The stress of endless travel, back-to-back games, and emotional drain means referees must develop personal rituals just to survive. Some meditate, others run or read to escape the daily grind. But the weight of being blamed for losses, facing public outrage, and never truly being off-duty never fully disappears. The job isn't just physically exhausting, it's emotionally relentless, leaving scars that few see or understand. Physical demands and health risks. NBA referees are some of the fittest professionals in the sports world, but the wear and tear of their job is often overlooked. While players get praised for their athleticism, officials run several miles each game, often at a sprint, moving laterally, backpedaling, and maintaining a clear line of sight at all times. The pace is grueling. For 48 minutes, with few breaks, they shadow some of the fastest athletes alive. The league requires referees to pass rigorous fitness tests every year. This includes timed sprints, agility drills, and endurance runs. A failure can mean suspension or being sidelined for games. Maintaining this level of fitness isn't easy, especially as most referees work well into their 40s and even 50s. Many have played sports themselves, but the relentless NBA schedule can break down even the most prepared bodies. Injury risk is real. Chronic foot pain, Achilles injuries, strained knees, and hamstring pulls are commonplace. Referee Lauren Holtkamp-Sterling, who officiated hundreds of NBA games, was forced to retire due to persistent knee injuries that wouldn't heal. Others fight through pain because there's no second string, no one to sub in. Officials often finish games with sprains or muscle strains, knowing the show must go on. Travel compounds the challenge. Referees fly commercially, often arriving at their next city late at night, with little chance to stretch, recover, or sleep properly. The routine destroys sleep cycles and recovery windows. Sleep deprivation increases the chance of mistakes, yet the schedule never pauses. Most referees work up to 15 games per month, and travel can cover thousands of miles in a single week. Nutrition and exercise routines are a struggle to maintain. Fast food and room service are often the only options late at night. Gym time is limited to hotel facilities, which can be inconsistent or overcrowded. Many referees develop nagging injuries from poor recovery habits or repetitive movement. Summers are spent rehabbing, not relaxing, to pass the league's preseason exams. Career instability and turnover. On the surface, working as an NBA referee might seem like a lifelong career. In reality, job security is never guaranteed. The league's demand for flawless officiating leads to constant evaluation, high turnover, and a real risk of being replaced, even after years of solid work. In every game, referees are scored on every decision. The NBA reviews every whistle, every non-call, and even the way officials interact with players and coaches. Supervisors file detailed reports, and those grades impact future assignments, playoff eligibility, and long-term career prospects. Even a brief slump or single high-profile mistake can lead to a drop in rankings or missed opportunities. The pressure to perform is immense. Younger referees find it hard to break into the league, facing years in the G League or lower divisions before getting a shot. For veterans, the challenge is staying sharp as the pace of the game increases and new rule interpretations are introduced almost every season. The league wants to see constant improvement, not just consistency. A single bad month can mean fewer primetime games or a seat on the sidelines during the postseason. Advancement is limited and fiercely competitive. Only the top referees get to work the NBA Finals or the All-Star Game, with years of performance, evaluations, and politics factoring in. Promotion is not guaranteed by seniority. It is earned through a mix of ability, luck, and staying clear of controversy. Job security is fragile. Officials who become the focus of controversy, rightly or wrongly, can find themselves sidelined indefinitely. The NBA has dismissed referees for repeated mistakes, questionable off-court conduct, or simply being at the center of too many controversial finishes. A well-respected career can be derailed overnight by a single viral moment or a league investigation. Unlike players and coaches, referees rarely have guaranteed multi-year contracts. Each season is a test of competence and strength. The lack of public support or fan backing makes it even harder to rebound from a rough stretch. Many officials find themselves forced out early or choose retirement rather than risking another year under the microscope. Public perception and media scrutiny. If the NBA had a list of the least popular people in the building, referees would be at the top every single night. No matter how well they do their jobs, they're often blamed for losses, accused of bias, and painted as villains by frustrated fans. This negative reputation has been amplified by decades of controversy, evolving technology, and the never-ending spotlights on modern media. fans crave someone to blame when their team falls short. A missed foul or controversial call is enough to ignite boos that echo for the rest of the game. In many arenas, the referees walk in and out to a chorus of cheers. For some, it becomes an expected part of the night, but the intensity and frequency of abuse are emotionally draining. The media multiplies the pressure. After any close or controversial game, television crews break down every questionable call, often looping a single replay for hours. Sports radio and podcasts create entire segments dissecting whether a referee has a vendetta or was trying to swing the game. Even when the call is correct, slow motion replay can distort the truth, making a perfectly reasonable whistle look suspicious. Social media has made life even more challenging. A single mistake can go viral within minutes, sparking heated debates and even online harassment. Referees and their families have faced personal attacks, threats, and relentless negativity. Some officials have deleted their accounts or avoided all social media just to preserve their mental health. Despite being crucial to the game's integrity, referees rarely get public praise. If a game is well officiated, it is simply expected. No one applauds the officials after a clean contest, and most fans couldn't name a single NBA referee outside of those embroiled in controversy. Positive attention is rare, and the best referees are often the least noticed until a mistake happens. The public image problem also trickles down to youth sports, discouraging the next generation from picking up the whistle. Former NBA referees have spoken out about the need for respect and understanding, but changing the culture is slow and difficult. For now, NBA officials work in a thankless environment where the spotlight is mostly a heat lamp and the rare moments of appreciation are quickly overshadowed by the next outcry. Ethical dilemmas and scandals. NBA referees operate under an intense ethical spotlight. The league's history has been shaped by moments of controversy and outright scandal, none bigger than the Tim Donaghy betting case that rocked basketball in the late 2000s. Donaghy, a longtime NBA referee, admitted to betting on games he officiated, shattering public trust and prompting major reforms throughout the sport. In response, the NBA introduced strict anti-gambling measures. Referees are forbidden from betting on sports, with their finances periodically reviewed for signs of impropriety. Even attending casinos or associating with known gamblers can put a career at risk. The vigilance is constant, and the rules are clear. But suspicion is difficult to erase. Every time a controversial whistle is blown, online speculation about fixing or bias surges, fueled by the memory of past scandals. Conflict of interest concerns persist. Officials must navigate professional boundaries with coaches, players, and league executives. While small talk and handshakes are part of the job, anything beyond the basics is scrutinized. The NBA regularly rotates officiating crews to avoid any sense of favoritism or too familiar relationships. Even a referee's off-court activities, from their friendships to their investments, are monitored and sometimes restricted. Perception often matters as much as reality. Referees are expected not just to be impartial, but to appear impartial at all times. A lighthearted exchange with a superstar or a cold response to a coach can be dissected in the media as evidence of bias. The challenge is to maintain professionalism without seeming robotic, but the line is thin and mistakes are punished. Integrity maintenance is a daily challenge. Referees receive annual training on ethics, transparency, and reporting conflicts, but the pressure to be perfect is immense. Any new controversy, no matter how small, can set back years of progress and trust building. These scandals and ethical dilemmas cast a long shadow over the job. The league does its best to protect the integrity of the game, but referees know that one lapse, one bad headline, or even one misunderstood moment can jeopardize not just their careers, but the faith of fans and the credibility of the sport as a whole. Work-life balance challenges. The life of an NBA referee means sacrifice far beyond what most sports fans realize. Every year, from preseason to the finals, officials spend more time on the road than at home. Schedules are packed with back-to-back games, cross-country flights, and last-minute assignments. There's rarely a true off day, only short stretches to catch up on sleep or see family before heading back to the airport. Travel is constant and unpredictable. Referees might land in Los Angeles for a Monday game, fly to Milwaukee for Wednesday, then finish the week in Miami. This pace makes it almost impossible to maintain a normal family life. Birthdays, anniversaries, and holidays are often spent in hotels or on planes. Partners and children learn to celebrate special occasions whenever there's a rare window of free time. The emotional toll of absence is real. Marriages and relationships are tested by distance and the stresses of the job. Parenting becomes long distance, with referees relying on video calls to keep up with children's milestones. Friends drift away as invitations are turned down, and time together grows scarce. Personal wellness takes a back seat. Diet and exercise routines are constantly disrupted by late-night flights and unpredictable game times. Some officials try to prioritize health, but access to good food and regular exercise is limited by the realities of NBA travel. Mental health suffers too, as the emotional drain of criticism and the lack of time at home build up over the season. Outside interests are hard to sustain. Hobbies, social events, and community engagement all fall by the wayside. Many referees find themselves identified almost entirely by their job, with little opportunity to develop an identity outside the world of basketball. The sacrifices made are rarely acknowledged. While players are lauded for grit and coaches for leadership, referees are expected to endure without complaint. The personal cost can be high, with some officials retiring earlier than planned just to regain balance and time with family. For NBA referees, work-life balance is often just a dream. The job consumes everything, and maintaining relationships, health, and a sense of self requires a level of strength and discipline that most people never have to develop. The sacrifices are invisible but constant, woven into the fabric of every season. NBA referees stand at the center of the action, but carry the weight of an entire league's expectations. Every night, they endure relentless scrutiny, immense physical and emotional strain, and a career path with few guarantees. They work in a world where perfection is demanded but rarely appreciated, and where mistakes are amplified for all to see. The next time a whistle blows, remember the reality behind the stripes. Officiating in the NBA is a journey that few can understand and even fewer can endure.